Okay, this is Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne, part 1 of 6, the one where he's a caveman and he beats the crap out of other cavemen. You know, I'd never think I'd see Batman like this. The first thing I want to say is that this cover is just wonderfully brutal. I love the art style of this particular chapter because the cool thing they do with this series is they have the same writer, Grant Morrison, who I actually kind of like now, and they have rotating artists. So the art for each chapter and each time era is unique and different, and I like that. This art really stands out, and it's really great for the era. It is just brutal, and it's insane, and it's just awesome. Now let's just start with the comic. Now they find this ship that crash lands, and then the cavemen just decide, it's some kind of god or whatnot. And then they find this cave, and then out of the cave comes Bruce Wayne, who is apparently missing or dead or something at this point in the story, so it's kind of a shock. Although it wasn't a shock to me, because this is the first comic I ever got, in the modern day anyway. So this is Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne, Part 1. Really cool look for Bruce right here, just, and he still has his utility belt for some reason. That's the one thing that confuses me. I don't know why. I mean, he has no shirt, yet he has a utility belt. That's kind of weird. What happened to the rest of his costume? Did it just disappear? And so, Bruce can't speak for some reason, and, he just speaks gibberish as he walks all the way over to the ship over here, and he opens it up, and it has, like, the Batman symbol or something. And then the Superman cape also. I have no idea what this ship is, because this is like the first comic I read. Someone could fill that in for me, that'd be great, because I don't understand what this is. And then there are a bunch of cave paintings over here. I'm pretty sure that this one is Batman, that one's Superman, this one, I think it's Green Lantern, I think, and then this one's probably like Booster Gold or something like that. So they try and find the village elder, but, they find out he's, like, dead. And so then they try, they say, okay, we're going to keep his necklace and, whatever, and we have to keep it with us and no matter what. And so then one of the tribesmen is like, you know what? This new god man who comes out of the cave, he's supposed to give us weapons and whatnot. And, they say, you know what, let's just call him Man of Bats, because he comes out of a cave full of bats. Yeah, Man of Bats. Batman. I get it. It's not funny. Okay, let's move on. You know what I find really strange? Is that they're looking for new weapons, and his utility belt full of amazing tools is right around that guy's neck. That's the only thing that I don't get. So then they have a little feast, but then the feast is interrupted by the blood mob! Really awesome. This scene is uber brutal. Look at all that blood, and the death, and the awesome destruction. This art really just hands out. And so then spikes are being jammed into people. There's violence, and there's bloodshed, and there's everything. And the son, from one of the tribesmen, he's hiding. And then Batman gets beat up with a rock. That's awesome. You can beat Batman with a rock. And so then this guy, what is he eating? Is he eating a heart? Jeez, this guy is brutal. He's apparently like the leader of the Blood tribe or whatever. He really wants to kill Batman because he's like, I will kill a god. I am insane. And once I kill a god, I will become the strongest and we will destroy everyone. Just nuts. I like this guy. He's just insanely brutal and awesome, just like a super awesome caveman. He's like that guy from 300, except doesn't scream, "This is Sparta." Anyway, they start beating on Batman, and they're like, you know what, we'll just beat him until the next day. And then there's this bat thing that comes out of nowhere, and then there's this green light for no reason, and then this thing starts talking to him or something, and he starts mumbling. And then that son from before with the utility belt comes back. You know what? He kind of looks like a Robin. Maybe he's some kind of like caveman version of Robin. I don't know. But that's the son from before. Apparently now he has a shield and a sword along with the utility belt, which just makes him look like a great sidekick. even though, you know, he's not Robin, he makes a good Robin for this chapter. You know, he gives Batman the utility belt, and then he says, you gotta run, the guy is coming, and the guy says, I'm going to kill the god and eat his heart, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, where are you? Because he went away, and now he's back, and he flies at the guy. He's like, oh no, and then Batman throws one of his explosive pellets at him, which is just epic, and he kicks him in the face. And then the Robin fights some of the guys. He literally takes a grappling hook, shoots it at him, reels him in, punches him in the face. That is neat. I gotta tell you, Batman is just awesome. Look at him. He's standing over the guy, and he's looking awesome in that super cool caveman costume. That's just amazing. So he gives, you know, the Sun Robin guy the necklace, and then they both dive into a waterfall. You know what's really weird that I didn't mention before? The sky, in this world, the sky is red, even though in the story they call it blue. And then at the end, you see that the sun is like, what kind of sun is this? You know, I don't get it. The sun, I mean, even in an eclipse, the sun doesn't turn red, does it? What kind of mixed up caveman universe is it? I guess it's just atmosphere. And it's really cool atmosphere. But you know, when you're looking up at the sky, you don't see a big flaming red sun. And you see blue. Even though in the story they say the sky is blue, it looks red to me. I don't know. Maybe they're some kind of colorblind. So anyway, they both jump into the waterfall. And then, you know, Robin, or the guy, you know, kind of like Robin, you know, walks out of the waterfall, but then Batman's gone. He's like, what? What's going on here? And then the savage leader guy, he's like, you know what? Forget you guys. And he just walks away. And then there's a bright flash of light. And then somehow Superman and the team is there. Booster Gold, Green Lantern, and Superman are there. And apparently there's this thing about Omega radiation, and which is probably the green stuff. And then, you know, Batman isn't there in the time era. Apparently they found a cave painting of him, you know, somewhere, and so they know he's not dead, because apparently he got killed in Final Crisis or something. And so they have to find him by traveling through time, because he's being chucked through time in this awesome adventure. And then Superman says, but if he survives this, if he does the impossible again, if Batman makes it back to the 21st century on his own, everyone dies. Well, that's not very positive, is it? I mean, it's like, if he succeeds, everyone will die. First of all, I don't understand that. Two, where do they find this cave painting? I mean, I know they did, but what issue marks where they actually found it? I do not know that. Was it in one of the Batman issues? Was it in Batman and Robin? Or was it in Time Masters? Anyway, he ends up in this colonial age, and he finds this tentacle monster that's about to attack him. He also pulls this sword out of nowhere. Next, first panel, he doesn't have a sword. Second panel, he has a sword. He literally just pulled it out of his butt. One other thing I want to make note of real quick is that in, second one, Time Masters, hold on a minute, I got it, it's right here. Time Masters Vanishing Point tie-in, number 2, actually has a tentacle monster just like this. Don't get Time Masters Vanishing Point. It's terrible. I hate it. It's just horrible. But I think there's some kind of connection here, because this thing appears in this, and then it appears in this also. Just a little note, I don't really understand what this thing, tentacle monster, is supposed to be. Some kind of after effect of Omega radiation, which, whatever. Next time I'm going to be reviewing Part 2, Colonial Batman, who fights witch hunters. It's going to get better from here, trust me. Peace out.